Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I stumbled across one of the most amazing things I can't believe. Oh, just hang on a second. Put that over there. Beartown coffee in a Beartown mug. So, I gotta take my glasses off for this because this is the most amazing thing I've ever come across. And you know what it's called? I was doing a little research, and as you can tell by the headline, Joe Biden, the President of the United States, is brilliant. And I think, at the end of the day, he's gonna win an award. What are those guys that give out those fancy, Nobel Prize for economics? Because the IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act, I just got through it. Now, let me be clear, if you're watching this video, it's being posted in July. There's actually 3 different bills. It's not just one bill. Well, it's one bill, but they divided it up into 3. Actually, they divided it up into 4. So it's extremely difficult to find out exactly what is going on. But the one thing that is absolutely amazing is the government decided not to pick a winner. And governments always pick a winner. I will give you an example. Here in Canada, our Ontario government, provincial government, state government, okay? If you're an American, it's a state government, or you're around the world, decided to make a $2 billion investment, General Motors, okay? They picked a winner. They're saying, these guys are going to build the EVs that we want to build. So we are going to put $2 billion into their bank account for them to make these Oshawa plants and other plants and Markham plants or wherever all the plants are in Ontario. I don't live in Ontario. I know I've driven by them, but I don't know where they are. We're going to give you $2 billion to build these plants and retool them to make EVs. Because General Motors was on TV with the President of the United States a few years ago. We're the best EV maker in the United States and the world. Give me a break. So they did all that happenstance and promotion, but there was really nothing behind it. So people are like making fun of Joe Biden, they're making fun of Mary Barra, they're making fun of General Motors, and they're making fun of Ford, and they're making fun of, every car company out there they're making fun of, including Tesla. But all the Tesla fanboys are making fun of them, and then everyone else is making fun of them. But in actual fact, nothing happened. So they say, listen, we're going to bring back the $7,500 tax credit. Oh. Well, that's the dumbest idea and waste of money I've ever seen. First of all, you better pay $7,500 in federal tax the year you buy a car that qualifies for $7,500. And the list of how you qualify is just bonkers, okay? I'll give you an example. A friend of mine is retiring and worked at a major oil company here in my wonderful city. 63 years old and is retiring. Guess what? He actually isn't going to have any income for 2 years because you're retiring at 63. He got a little bit of a payout. He saved his money. He's been smart. And at 65, boom, the pension kicks in. Well, okay. His company pension kicks in. So for 2 years, he actually is going to have no income. But got a little bit of a payout and, he's okay. Doesn't need to cash anything in or anything. He's going, for 2 years, I'm going to make nothing. I mean, seriously, maybe some T5 income off of stocks, some interest income and stuff, but otherwise not making any income. He's not going to pay $7,500 in taxes. Federal taxes, not provincial taxes, state taxes. Federal, it's a federal tax credit. So you got to pay federal taxes. So he's like, I gotta wait 2 years to buy an EV. Well, he doesn't live in the United States, but that's the example. So this is how crazy smart Joe Biden is. And I think he just stumbled into this by happenstance. I think he just went out and got the smartest people around and said, listen, We got to have investment in our country. Ontario picked a winner. And as of to the filming of this video, GM has gone back to the government and says it's costing us more than we thought. The long guys are out blowing the thing and making a lot of noise. I don't like that. Anyways, I'm not going to stop, but I'm running out of time. And GM is now going back to the government saying, we need more money or we're not going to do this. Well, the government picked a winner. The United States government did not pick a winner. This is brilliant. They just said, you know what? If you buy an EV and it's manufactured in the United States or Mexico or Canada, okay, the North American Free Trade Agreement, and you get your $7,500. But the car has to be manufactured here, the batteries have to be manufactured here, and the stuff in the batteries have to come out of the ground from one of these three countries, for the most part. You get your credit. Otherwise, no credit. Smart. But here's the kicker with IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act. So that's the $7,500 credit. Then we got these other things. And this is just brilliant. There are currently, I have counted currently, 37 large manufacturing projects in the United States to build EVs, to take resources out of the ground, to refine those resources, to make batteries, to go in the EVs that are made in the United States. These are not small projects. They are anywhere from $2 billion to $14 billion each. How is this possible? Why didn't these companies do this before? Well, I'll tell you why they didn't do it before. Companies are all about money. They don't care if they can make 25% return instead of 24% return, they'll make the change. Okay, just, 20% is not enough. I can make 25 going to whatever. But this is what they did. And nobody's talking about it. No Republican will talk about it. No conservative will talk about it. No CNBC is going to talk about it. BNN, Fox, whatever business, Bloomberg, whatever business station you can think of will not talk about this and will not bring this up. They'll just say, the Ford Motor Company lost $2 billion making Lightnings. That's $70,000 a vehicle. The Lightning does not lose money. Because if you get out their financials, that's another video. It does not lose money. This is what Ford is doing, GM is doing, and Tesla is doing. Everyone's doing this. So I want to use an example that's in the news that everybody knows about. Tesla's building a lithium refinery in Texas. And the cost of this is approximately $2 billion. I think it might be $2.5 billion. But right now, the consensus is it's around $2 billion. IRA is why that refinery is in Texas. That's why that's being built in Texas. It's why North Carolina's got a Rivian refinery, and Michigan's got the Dearborn Blue Oval City being built by Ford, and I could just go on and on. You all know the ones that are being built. This is the deal. The government said, listen, we can't pick winners. We've tried to pick winners in the past. I'll give you an example of where I live. It's called Nova. Nova? Our provincial government in the 80s and 90s, because we wanted a petrochemical business, because we have oil and natural gas, we wanted petrochemicals and plastics to be manufactured here. Because we don't have any of it. So the government, no one wanted to do it. So the government said, we're going to pick a winner. And what is it called? It was called Nova. Nova Chemicals. And they poured billions of dollars into it to build it here. Well, guess what? Nobody bothered to sit back and say, look, if I build this, this is how it's going to work. Da-da-da-da-da. Can I make money at it? They just kept pouring it in. Then they privatized it, and it got shut down and sold off. And Dow Chemical bought most of the assets, and there is no manufacturing of chemicals and plastics where I live. It's not here. Even though we have all the natural gas you could possibly imagine to make those plastics. So, the government tried to pick a winner, and they picked wrong. And because they picked wrong, all the money's gone. Oh, a bunch of people lined their pockets, and this is where the boondoggles come in. So this is what Biden did. That's brilliant. He goes, you know what? I'm not picking a winner. And I know this happened after them press conferences where he's talking to GM and where's my electric Corvette and all that kind of stuff. He goes back to the Oval Office and he's like, you know what? I'm getting beat up here. Why? You know why? He picked a winner and he knew it wouldn't work. Can't pick a winner. We got to let these people, they want the credits. They got to build it here. So what did they do? Inflation Reduction Act. If you build a factory in the United States, somewhere in the United States, a refinery for lithium or digging up lithium or rare earths or whatever, everything to do with an EV. Everything to do with an EV in the United States, and refine it, manufacture it, and then sell a completed product to the world. Whatever it costs you, you can apply to get it back in taxes. Well, what do you mean get it back in taxes? So all these large corporations pay taxes. Apple pay taxes, I pay taxes, you pay taxes, everyone pays taxes. These corporations pay billions of dollars in taxes. So they said, okay, if it costs you $10 billion to build Blue Oval Ford, which is about what they're spending, about $10 billion total. At the end of the day, by the time they're all done, it's going to be about $10 billion, maybe a little more for battery manufacturing. You can claim that against your taxes until you get all the money back. Oh, by the way, you have to submit receipts to the Treasury, and we're going to go over them to make sure you're not boondoggling us. Oh, every company out there that had the money to start something, started something immediately. The amount of projects that are under construction right now in the United States would blow your mind. And there's not a conservative out there that'll talk about it. There's no business stations that will talk about it. Nobody's going to talk about it. Because guess what? That means in the next election, everyone's going to vote Democrat. And let me tell you, the Democrats deserve the next two elections. The next two election cycles, the president should be Democratic for this. This is brilliant. This will employ millions and millions and millions of people with well-paying jobs. But more importantly, after it's all done, all these cars and everything are going to be manufactured and shipped to the world. It's not just for the US. They will make these cars and ship them to the world because there's no capital expense in making them. They're not advertising it over 20 years. They're not making loan payments to the bank. They took the money, they built it, and they got it all back. Their payback, 3 years. Some facilities will be 4 years. But for the most part, everyone that is spending $8 billion, $5 billion, $2 billion, Tesla's spending $2 billion on that refinery to refine lithium, and they get to claim it against their taxes. They get it all back. For Tesla, 1 year payback. Why you're not building 10 of them is beyond me, right? This is brilliant. They're not picking winners. And you got to remember, when it comes to politics, politicians love to pick winners. Okay? They just love to pick winners. And they're wrong every time. So one of the challenges I'm putting at the end of this video of Joe Biden is brilliant is I want you to pick 5 stocks in the comments. 5. Do all the research you want. You can pluck it in there whenever you want. I want you to pick 5. Right now, today, just pick 5 of who you think in 3 years will make you money. 5. I don't have 5. Can't think of 5 I would want to buy. I don't own 5. But you got to pick 5. And 3 years from now, we'll look back at this video and we'll say, who won? You're going to pick 5 winners. You can't sell them. You got to pick them. You're going to say, for the next 3 years, this one is going to win. It's going to be up the most. Pick a winner. And I'm going to give you 5. You can pick up to 5. Just to kind of average it out. Really, you should pick one. Who's the one winner over the next 3 years? Pick it today. Put the price in. Let's see what happens. Governments do this, and they fail at it. Business people do this and fail at it. Investors do this and fail at it. Don't pick a winner. When you're making this kind of investment to make it work, everybody wants an EV. I drive one. They're just so much fun to drive and everything. They're just fantastic. So that's why they're selling. Because they're fantastic. Period. So thank you very much for tuning in. And I just want to let you know, put down in the comments your 5 or 1 will do the best. The Inflation Reduction Act is phenomenal. And the investment that's going into your country to make these things, every country should be doing this exactly the way they're doing it. Since there's so much going on in the United States, these other countries around the world that want this is going to have to put the brakes on a little bit. They're going to have to wait until a lot of this is done. The central banks are putting interest rates up because of this. The amount of development that is happening because of all the tax money that's coming back for the development, it's like the government said, we don't care who wins or lose, we're going to give you the money to do it. No, you have to complete it, build it, get it operational, then apply to get the, and make income, sell your product, then you get the taxes back. If you fail at this, it costs the government nothing. Brilliant. Brilliant. No money out. We say we'll do it, but you have to accomplish what you're doing and sell a product for you to get even $1 back. Well, Ford Motor Company, GM, Tesla, all these ones that are going to take advantage of this are already paying taxes. They know they're paying taxes every year. So they're going to do it. And then when they're done, they're going to get it back. So that's brilliant as far as I'm concerned. So pick your winners, put them down in the comments below. Central banks need to stop doing interest rate rises because this is why there's inflation. As soon as it's over, about 3 years from now, there'll be no inflation. In fact, there will be deflation, let me tell you. Major deflation coming. They don't want to talk about it, but there's major deflation coming. So just stay at the 4.5 central bank level. Just keep it where it is. Don't move it. Because when these facilities get finished, there's going to be deflation. And if you just leave it at 4.5, you won't have to reduce rates. So that's my get on why Biden deserves, first of all, win the election for what he's done. 2, he's going to win some awards for this. The history is going to look at this as amazing. All these jobs and everything coming to the United States are going to be phenomenal. And I don't care about the politics about where they are and all that other kind of stuff. It's just going to be phenomenal. Good paying jobs, manufactured. Like, what more do you want? The whole industry is revigored, and it was just leaving. They've been shutting it down for 40 years. And that, my friends, is phenomenal. So thank you for tuning in. I hope it was well explained on how brilliant this is. And yes, there's lots of little things in there still coming, but the gist of it is to get everything manufactured. Have yourself a wonderful weekend, week, and year, and I'll see you in the future.